we don't really know. The last chapter of the book I did is where's the post-war order headed? Because we had some certainty. And now we've kind of taken it apart. And my whole point is, I wish I was smart enough to tell you I see it so clearly. I lay out some parameters. But the bottom line is, here's how the world's changed. The U.S. was the leader of the Western Alliance in the post-war era. We've kind of given up that role. And I think what we're seeing in the Middle East today, where we thought the situation was relatively stable, and now we see that there's a reset, but nobody knows how it's going to play out, including President Trump.
We all kind of grew up in the post-war era where globalization was generally perceived, in the broadest sense, a good thing.
Yes.
Is that over? Is that sense of globalization, is that over?
I would say yes and no. There was the backlash to globalization. And it started really in the 1990s when people saw outsourcing by U.S. Businesses. And then, of course, Ross Perot comes along and blames NAFTA and the like. Then we had China. So that was the backlash. And, it basically got Trump elected in the first tour. So what I would say, though, that we're also learning is you can't completely do away with globalization. Nobody produces everything domestically, and it would be highly inefficient to do so. So I think we're kind of at a plateau, but yet I'm looking to see if world trade is going to slow down. It's stalled, but it hasn't turned down just yet, so I wouldn't give up on it.
Tariffs, again, it's another new economic policy regime for the world, actually, now with this administration. How do you view this? It seems like this, if you look at the stock market, the bond market, the currency markets, they've kind of come to grips with this new world of tariffs here. Is it an economic, or how much of an economic challenge is it to have a world where tariffs are higher?
What I would tell you is that I started my career when the Bretton Woods fixed exchange rate system collapsed. And nobody fully understood until the decade was over what the consequences were. So my story is that I was worried about the tariffs. Thus far, not as bad as expected for a variety of reasons. But I still feel that everything has not yet played out. And that there are longer-term consequences from what's happened.
Nicholas Sargen was thrilled that he could join us today with his decades at Wall Street. It's a more vintage perspective than so much of what we hear. He actually remembers when there was a real rate.
Yeah.
How cute. The book is Global Shots, second edition. The world, including Henry Kaufman, begging for the third edition as well. So here's the arch question for the young kids. Robert Gordon at Northwestern would say that golden moment, 1950 to 1972-ish, was a one-off for America. Was the magic of our childhood, our youth, of your early professional career, was it a one-off, or is that a continuum of American prosperity we can return to?
I would say it certainly was the golden age in terms of high economic growth rates until 1971.
Dispersed across a broad middle class.
Yes. And so what I see that's different today is America, I buy into the K-shaped economy. That on one hand, some people are doing incredibly well, those that have enough money to own a home or own stocks. What's to be unhappy with? But we got to remember that over half the country, no one owns any stocks. They're the people that are hurting. So, and again, why have we overcome these shocks? The simple answer is we're seeing the biggest capital spending boom in my lifetime with the build out of AI infrastructure. So actually that's boosting growth. Then you have the debate, but are there longer term consequences? And the answer is yes. But I'm on technology, I'm still a believer. Technology is the wave of the future. I don't want to go backwards.
I mean, Paul, this weekend, heated responses on this. Is AI going to create jobs or not? Torsten Slok publishes this morning for Apollo saying everybody calm down.
Yep. Yeah, he says net AI is going to create jobs. What's been amazing here, Nick, has just been the profitability of corporate America. The earnings we've seen have just been extraordinary, despite tariffs, despite geopolitical uncertainty.
Yes.
Corporate America has delivered extraordinary financial results.
I agree completely. And when I was expecting at some point a market sell-off, I was premature a year and a half ago, but yet, especially this past quarter, it's off the charts. But I'd like to tell you though too, we saw that in the second half of the 1990s, then what was the difference? The difference was then there was a lot of companies reporting on a pro forma basis, and the numbers were exaggerated. I was looking at Treasury statistics that are based on tax filings. They weren't nearly as good. So today, they are. We're seeing the bigger companies. I think that the challenge is, the build out is so enormous, and you can do that for a while. But when you get to be a gargantuan company, you can't grow ultimately as fast. And that's when there will be a reset, but it's too early to say it's here.
I used to go out to Stanford for John Taylor and John Chauvin and their fabulous economic symposium. What a joy ages ago to interview a very ancient Kenneth Arrow. What was it like at Stanford with Kenneth Arrow? He's the most eclectic guy we created.
Yes. I would tell you the following. Happened to meet my wife there, and she was a math undergrad at Stanford, and then they picked her to be on the economics department. She idolized Kenneth Arrow for his brilliance. I idolized him that he was brilliant, but I wasn't a great mathematician and couldn't understand it. But he clearly was, revered and has had lasting legacy.